Hi, gang. It's me, Lil. I'm back with a Moments with Mommy exclusive this week. Deep sigh. Yeah, I just came back from spending a week with Mommy and I survived barely. I actually did receive an injury, but I'll save that part for later. So, as you know, with Mommy, there's always going to be some antics. So I'm just going to give you the rundown with the list that I created. Let's start with when I first got there and I asked her if she had any athleisure or workout clothes that I could borrow. And first she was like, they won't fit you. Once again, reminding me that she is skinny and I'm not. She was like, why didn't you just bring your own stuff? And I was like, because I had to pack two of your outfits that you just had to have, even though I've had them at my house for like 3 years now. And they took up a lot of room in my suitcase. She was like, I should sue you for having them for so long. Uh, okay, you're the one who left them there, but whatever. Then there was the time where I looked at her phone and her background picture is like a huge blazing picture of my nephew. And I'm like, do you realize you have two grandchildren, right? She's like, I can't find any pictures of the other one. Okay. Then there was a time when I was sitting in the living room watching Nobody Wants This. And she's like, is that one of those GI actors? I was like, what? She was like, you don't even watch the news anymore. They have computers making AI actors now. I was like, you said GI. She was like, no, I didn't. I was like, okay. And I was like, no, that is not an AI actress. It's Kristen Bell. And though she looks kind of plastic, she is an actual human being. Then we were talking about Thanksgiving and who was cooking. My brother was going to host. She was like, who's making the turkey? I said, he probably is. And she's like, oh, no, I do not want to eat that. Don't tell him I said that. Okay. Then she roped me into chopping some vegetables for her seafood salad so we could prep for Thanksgiving. While I'm doing this, one of my aunties calls her, and I'm like, hi, auntie, mommy is making me chop vegetables like Cinderella. My auntie, I guess she's kind of hard of hearing or something. She was like, that's wonderful. Um, okay. Then there was the time when we were getting ready to go to Thanksgiving, and she was like, put the cheesecake in the car. And I was like, do you mean the pumpkin cheesecake? And she was like, pumpkin? I thought it was caramel. I said, it clearly says pumpkin cheesecake on the label. So we start making our way to my brother's house, but we have to make a pit stop at a friend's house to pick up a tray of jollof rice, which gets made by this lady every year because jollof rice is always a hit, but mommy feels like she can't make it well enough. So somehow, even though we literally go here every year, she gets lost uh, with the GPS on the way to find this woman. She like parked outside the wrong house. It was bad. We finally got jollof rice, make our way there. Well, we were an hour late, and that was with me pressuring mommy to be on time. If I hadn't been there, she would have been 2 hours late. Trust me. So I guess we missed the part where everybody goes around and says what they're thankful for, and our food was cold, but it was good conversation, good times with family and friends. On our way back, mommy insists on not following the GPS because she knows a shortcut. Last time we took the shortcut, it took us 2 hours to get home for what should have been a 45-minute drive. So I was like, please, God, no, Jess, follow the GPS. She was like, no, I don't want to go on the highway. No. We made it. I think it still took an hour, but it was better than the last time. Then we were talking about whether or not we were going to go to Black Friday and try to get some deals. She was like, I could use another TV. And I said, there's 4 TVs here, and you're only one person. She was like, we do need one for the guest room in case they want to watch TV. I said they probably can watch one of the many other TVs. So there are many moments just like this, frustration and joy with mommy. But the real clincher came the day after Thanksgiving when I went to my friend's son's high school football game. It was the coldest day of the week, of course. After sitting there, wrapped up in my coat, hat, scarf, gloves. I tried my fingerless ones first, but then I had to go full glove. My thick wool jacket, plus 2 sets of blankets, but I still nearly froze. Oh, we had hand warmers too. Those were helpful. I tried to use the toe ones, but they couldn't get them all the way into the toe. Anyway, so the game's over. My son's friend wins. He's a star football player, probably going to go to the NFL. So we are all really excited for him. This was the game that was going to take them to finals. So we all got up to leave. And as soon as I stood up, I was like, this is going to be bad. And then I just start tumbling down the bleachers. I mean, when I think about it, I thought it was only like 3 or 4 bleachers, but everybody else said it was 6. Thankfully, I did not hit my head or break my neck or my back. My glasses didn't even break or fall off. And I didn't chip a tooth, which is my worst fear. Also, I was very lucky that my friend's husband, who's a firefighter, and her sister, who's a nurse, were there to check me out right away to make sure there was no damage. But as soon as we started to walk away, I realized I was having some trouble walking. Everybody was very kind to help me get to the car, and I spent the night at my friend's house. She treated me very well. They gave me the very interesting combination of hot cocoa with marshmallows and Domino's stuffed crust pizza, which I'd never tried, so I was happy about that. Next morning, I wake up, my foot is pretty swollen, and I still can't really walk on it. My friend goes to take me home, and before I can even get in the house, I call mommy. I was like, please come down. I'm hurt, and I need to go to urgent care. So I come in, she comes down. She's like, what happened? I explained, I fell. She was like, okay, put your foot up, and here's an ice pack. I was like, oh, thank you. Then she goes away upstairs. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes. And I say, are you getting ready to come take me to urgent care? And she hits me with, do you really need to go? Mind you, this is the same woman who, anytime I even sneeze or cough, she's shoving Mucinex down my throat like a dealer. She's like, you need to go to the doctor. Let's go to the hospital. I got sick over Halloween, and she was calling my friends to come over and check on me. It was just the flu. But this time, when I'm in actual distress, she can't be bothered. That's right, friends. I had to take an Uber to urgent care because she just didn't want to go. I think she just didn't want to get ready. I don't know. When I got home, I was like, I have to continue to ice and elevate my foot. And she's like, I guess this means you can't go to the hairdresser now. Okay, priorities. Anyway, please forgive mommy. She knows not what she does. She's still the bomb. Some kind of bomb, despite all of this. Is anybody else noticing the trend of me falling? I hope I don't have to make a new segment called Places Where Lil Falls. Anyway, come back next time where we'll do some Lil's Lights Camera Action. And I'll talk about my thoughts on my recent viewings of Hamnet and other movies. We'll do a little telly time talking about Severance, and I'll also give you my take on the Critics' Choice Award nominations. Bye!